Hi everyone, welcome to Home Learning Lab. In this video, we'll be implementing valid parenthesis problem, which is one of LeetCode's top 150 problems for interviews in Python. Now, I have already explained the logic behind this problem, why we're using stack data structure for this particular problem in my previous video. The link to that particular video will be available in the description. So for those who want to watch that video, understand the concept behind this problem, how to solve this problem, can please go and watch that video. In that video, the implementation in code is done in C++. In this video, I am going to implement it in Python. These days, it's quite common that candidates are explicitly asked to code in Python. So that's the motivation. Without any further ado, let's get started. Now in Python, we have the list data structure. So in list data structure, basically what happens is you add an element to the list, you append to the list, and then when you pop, it pops the latest element, the last element you added. So it actually behaves quite similar to the data structure of stack. Please remember that we need not be very hard set on the name of the data structure. It's the name, it's the nature of the data structure, how it works that matters. As I had explained in the previous video, stack is last in, first out. So we need a data structure such that the last element which was inserted is the first element to be popped out. That's exactly what happens here, right? The last element to be inserted, E4, will be the first element to be popped out. So it's the nature of the data structure that matters. Name does not matter. Now here, the list data structure of Python behaves like that, and that is sufficient for us. So what I can do is I'll just use ss is some list. All right. And I'll basically do the same thing, the exact solution that I submitted in C++, that I'm going to do it in Python. That's all. So let's code in Python. For C in S, so for every character, if C is, let's say, opening bracket, or C is a curly opening bracket, or C is a square opening bracket, what we can do is we'll just add it. So ss dot append C else. So it's definitely a closing bracket. What we can do then? Else if, so let's just optimize the previous code a little more. Let's say it is a closing bracket and the list is empty. That's the condition number 3, right? So let's just keep it universal. Let's make it universal. So this is a slight change, slight modification to the implementation than what I had done in the previous video, the C++ one. There I had this if else condition everywhere. So for each of the kind of the bracket, like simple closing bracket, curly closing bracket, and square closing bracket, I had the if else condition. If the stack is empty or there is some element in the stack, here let's keep it universal. So regardless of which type of closing bracket we are observing right now, like C is, if my stack is empty, if len of ss is 0, well, then we just return false. As simple as that. Else, we have some element at the top. Else, if, how do we observe the last element of any list? So is it ss of len of ss minus 1? Yeah. If we have to observe this particular element, so we'll have cases if C is this, and this is Python. So we'll have elif conditions. We'll have some condition here, or elif C is this, and then finally else we'll do something. So if C is a simple closing bracket, we'll observe this. If this particular element, SS of this, is a simple opening bracket. Then we'll remove this element, SS dot pop. I'm not even sure if pop is a function in list or not, but we'll see. Else we return false as it is. We'll return false directly. Same we'll do for the rest of the steps as well. This is fairly simple. We can just copy it and paste it like we've done for C++ as well. Oh, and this should work. But I'm still not sure if pop is a function. We'll just have to wait for that. Yeah, and that's it. Of course, we have to take care of an additional condition, which is condition number 1. If by any chance, if length of SS is not equal to 0, it means that we had some opening brackets, but they haven't been closed. So return false in that case as well. Return false. Otherwise, by default, of course, it return true. So if any of the condition is not met, we are returning false. Otherwise, every condition is met. That's the logic. It's binary, right? It's a Boolean return type. Let's try and run this. We'll see if pop is a function or not. Oh, it's accepted. So it means pop is a function. It is a Python function. That just means that. Let's just be extra cautious regarding the solution if we have missed something. So we define SS, which is list. It effectively behaves like a stack. It has functionalities like a stack. That's what matters. So for every character, if it is any kind of opening bracket, we are just appending it. We are pushing it to the list. And if it is a closing bracket, if our list is empty, then it just means that condition 3 is violated. We do not have a corresponding opening bracket. So just directly return false. Otherwise, if we have something in the list, something in the stack, we have to make sure that it is of the corresponding type. So we match openings, we match the simple bracket, we match the curly bracket, and we match the square vector as well. Otherwise, in any case, if that type also doesn't match, we'll return false. And finally, if our list has some brackets, it has not yet got popped, it just means that something, there weren't the corresponding closing brackets in the given input string. Condition 1 is violated. So we'll just return false in that case as well. If nowhere we encounter any issues, we'll return true. That's the idea. Let's try to submit. Nice, it got submitted. So we have submitted in Python as well. If I look at my submissions here, this is my Python submission. So can I switch to C++? This was my C++ submission, just for chords. And this was my Python submission. So we have solved this problem of valid parenthesis, which comes under the stack section of top interview 150 problems in LeetCode. And we have implemented it in both C++ and Python. Thanks for watching this video.